This might be one of the rarest bikes I've ever picked up. This is a 1965 Tatran 125. These were made in the Czech Republic from 1964 to 1969. And that's about all the information I can find on them. It's 125cc. They're supposed to go about 50 miles an hour. But what's crazy about this one is that there's only 20 original miles on it. 20 miles. That is insane. And you can see it's all complete. Blinkers are there, tail light, seat is in very good condition. Leather seat. The only thing it's missing is the key, unfortunately. So there's no key for it. The guy said he was gonna look for it, but he said he bought this thing a couple years ago, and he said it was in a barn. What happened was the parents who bought this thing originally died, and the son inherited the estate, and he sold everything off, and this was included in that. And I guess this was sitting in the barn for many years. So the seller that sold it to me owned it for a couple years. He said he tinkered with it a little bit, could not get it to run, and he put it in the shed, and it's been sitting there for, I think he said 4 years. So this thing probably hasn't ran in over 40 years. But yeah, 20 original miles. I don't think I've ever seen a bike with that low of miles in my life. So definitely a rare find. And very few of these were imported to the US. And I've never seen one in person in my life before this one. But you can see all original colors, original pipe, tires, everything's original. I guess the museum contacted them and wanted this thing, but I was there first, and I paid $1,000 for this thing. I looked up on eBay previous listings for this, and some of them sold for over $2,000, so I think I paid a pretty fair price, but we'll see what the condition is when we start tearing into it. I didn't look anything over. All I did was put this thing into gear, and it did roll over in gear, so I know the engine's not stuck at least. And it shifted pretty smooth, so that gives me a little hope. Let's get this thing off the truck and see if we can get this thing running today. All right, little walk around. Very retro looking machine here. It was definitely bigger than expected when I bought this thing. It's pretty good size. Tatran 125. There's the badge on it. Speedo with the 20 miles. So I think these are blinkers right here, or lights. Both these move up and down. Got the choke right here. The key with 1 and 2 position. I believe 2 is for electric start. Unfortunately, there is not a kickstart on this machine, so we need electric start in order to start this thing. And I think that just is the light for on. Clutch. Front brake does work. Rear brake right here does work. You've got your gear shift, front and back. You've got your center stand and kickstand. The seat looks to be all original. A couple little cracks in the seat, but that's all leather. Rack on there, blinkers on there. Pipe looks to be in pretty good condition. The chrome's peeling off a little bit. Missing a bolt right there. No key, so we can't open that. It's got the headlight on there, front blinkers. I believe these are the original tires. You can see Barham on there. So definitely a cool looking machine that you never see. Alright, so let's start digging into this thing. See if we can get this thing to run today. Let's take off the seat, see what's underneath there. Take a look. Huh, cool. Yeah, that's definitely the original seat. Wow. So this is 2-stroke. You can see gasoline oil mixture, 1 gallon to 1/3 pint of oil. Take a look in the gas tank here. It's actually not that bad. A little surface rust, but there's no gas or oil in it, so that helps. You can see the petcock way down there. Ha, cool. Here's the tag. Engine number 129132, Model 3, production year 196. Engine output RPM 5,300. Weight, it's 234 pounds. And that tag is in excellent shape, so there's no way this thing sat outside. Alright, so let's try to open this compartment first. See what's going on. I'm sure these come off too. I'm not sure how. Is this just a little door? I don't want to break it. I think these just fold down. Interesting. Huh. So there's the carb in there. Wow, look at that. Gas line. Right there. So it looks like gas line was disconnected from the carb. There's a little air filter. That's cool. So there's the clutch. Let's see if the clutch cable's working. Yep. It's pulling in. So clutch works. At least the cable. So the coil, the capacitor right there. So I'm guessing this whole body panel comes off. Or lifts up. It's cool how these fold down and gives you access to the engine. That's pretty cool. So there's the coil. It looks like, oh, right there's the spark plug. So we'll see if this thing has spark. Push in. Oh, there's like a little tab we can try to turn. Let's see. Get your small screwdriver out. Alright, finally got that to pop open. Alright, looks like there's 2 newer batteries in there. Positive, negative here. Interesting. They're not hooked up at all. Got the bolts here. Wonder if he ever tried to hook these up. I hope he didn't fry the system. Interesting. So this looks like positive, it's marked red. This one's marked yellow. Looks like these are 6-volt batteries, so we're gonna try to charge these up and we'll see if we can get something to light up here. Alright, let's try to take off this whole body panel here. looks like there's a horn right there. So now we can check out this wiring. Looks like the speedo is hooked up. That's kind of cool. Points. Easy access to the points. And those are pretty dirty. So we'll have to take a look at those a little bit later. But I like that little cover. Easy access. There's the capacitor for the coil. And then you've got blue coming from the points. And I think this little cover should come off right here. Yeah, it looks like that should come off with 2 screws right there and right there. We can take a peek at that. I'm trying to see where these wires lead to. So we've got this one goes up there. This one, which I don't think is original. At least I don't think. That one goes down to here, but that's marked positive. So it's a positive ground. See that? That's grounded out right there. So it might be positive ground. And then, let's see. Alright, this just closes that like that. Now this thing can open. Holy cow. There's a big nest in there. Yikes. Doesn't look like anything was chewed too much. Get this mouse nest out of here. Looks like that yellow wire was chewed pretty good. I don't want to vacuum it up right away because I don't want to suck up any important parts. Just want to see everything here. Oh yeah, that wire's fried. Yellow wire. Yeah, that white wire is really bad. Chewed that. This red wire right here is chewed through. And this yellow wire, I'm not sure where that goes to. Where would that go to? It might be right here. Looks like you've got a spare capacitor there. Alright, we got the white wire and the red wire fixed temporarily. We'll solder those up if this works, but it looks like there's a little fuse box right here. Let's open that up. Ooh. That one's broken. The other 3, I can't tell. This one doesn't look too bad. These look older, these look newer, which is interesting. Let's get a continuity tester in there and see if we're getting a reading between the fuses here. Alright, we should hear a beep. If we don't, we know the fuse is bad, not connecting the bridge here. That one's connecting. That one's connecting. That one's connecting. Alright, so all the fuses are okay. We'll leave those in there for now. So it looks like this might be the solenoid right here. So when you turn the key, it should pop and let voltage through one of these lines. So we have to figure out which one is negative and which one is positive. It looks like this says a 12 volt system on here. So I wonder if they just hooked up two 6 volt batteries in parallel to make 12 volts. So we should be able to hook up 12 volts to it, and it should be fine, I would think. I just don't want to fry anything. So what we're going to do is hook up a 12 volt battery system here. I think they ran two 6 volt batteries in parallel to make 12 volts, which is the same thing as a 12 volt battery. And what I'm guessing is that they just had a bunch of 6 volt batteries laying around, because during this time I think they all converted to 12 volt. I'm guessing they just put two 6 volt to make 12 volts so that the electric starter would work. So I'm thinking that this has positive ground. This is labeled red going to ground, and this one's labeled red going to ground. This one is labeled white, and I believe that's going up to the solenoid. So that would be a negative terminal. So what we're gonna do is just hook it up that way and see if we blow a fuse. So positive ground, hook up that to here, and that to here. Negative will be hooked up to here. And let's see, I don't want this in the spark. I'm gonna turn this on, see what happens here. See if anything's getting hot here. Just gonna flip the switch, see what happens. Nothing's happening. I don't think we blew a fuse or anything. The lights on. Alright, the engine's spinning over by itself for some reason. Ooh, it's smoking. Not like that. Smoking pretty good there. Out of there, so it was turning over though. Alright, we got the headlight working. There's high and low. See if the blinkers work. Doesn't appear like the blinkers are working. Tail light's working. Alright, we're making progress. Alright, so for some reason I turned the key, and the continuity test between right here and right here works. And this is supposed to send the signal up to the blue wire right here, goes up to here, to the solenoid, right here, and it triggers to activate the solenoid. So for whatever reason, we're not getting any power to this connection right here, so it can't send connection to here. The switch is working, so it is sending power to here, but there's no power at this switch. So this one goes up to the red up here, right at the bottom of this fuse right there. And this one's connected into here. This one's connected up there. There's a blue one connected that goes down to the coil. And then there's a red one that goes down to the light right here, which we're not getting power to. So if we can get power to that peg right here, this thing would work. So I don't know if there's a short in the system, but we're not getting power there. So we're gonna look around, see if we can get power there. But I'll show you guys that it does spin over when I push this blue wire to the post over here. Yeah, wiring usually takes a pretty long time on these old machines. One wire out of place, and there's no wiring diagrams to help you out, so it's a little tricky. Got the plug out. Now I'm going to turn this on, and we're going to see if we get anything to light up. Oil down there, a little two-stroke oil. should crank over. Was cranking over just fine. No spark. So that means that we're not getting power to the coil, which would make sense because the blue wire coming from the coil goes up to here, which is the same wire that's going down here, not giving us power to a solenoid. All right, we're just gonna try to clean these points up a little bit. All right, just taking a little WD-40, spray that on there. And we have our points file here. We're gonna put this up like that. See how it's looking. It's looking pretty good. All right, now we're gonna check for spark again. All right, I've been digging into this thing and trying to diagnose this thing for about 3 hours. And I think we finally got it. So let's turn this on. Check this out. Turn the key. Key works. Let's see if it has spark now. Come on, baby. Please have spark. Oh, yeah. Great spark. Awesome. That's fixed. Making progress here. So what I did was add a wire going from here to that spot that we couldn't figure out where to get power from. So we just added power directly to it, which is actually a ground going to there, which it must not have had. So we are now good to go. Everything is backwards on this thing, so it does have a positive ground. So this is actually going to the frame, grounding out the frame. And then the negative terminal is powering the solenoid and the coil. So it's getting negative to these two terminals. So that's why the ground has to be positive. So then when the points open, you'll see that spark, and it will spark the plug. So everything is backwards. That's why it took so long. All right, the only wire I can't find where it goes to is this yellow one, and that's ground, it looks like. Well, it's grounding out to here at least. So I'm not sure where the other part goes to. I'm not seeing any attachments. I thought it went up in here, but it doesn't look like it. But I'm guessing that's for the blinkers. And I can't find out where that goes. Let's see what we get for compression here. All right, we're hoping for over 100. All right, before we do the compression test, let's get the air box off of here. There it comes. Actually looks pretty clear. Doesn't look too bad. All right, let's see what we get for compression. All right, here we go. Throttle open. Oh yeah, over 100. Alright, that's awesome. Yeah, about 115. That's not too bad. We have hope yet. Alright, we've got spark, we've got compression. Last thing is fuel. So let's take a look at this carb. Take this off first. Ooh, it's on there. This stuff's been touched in probably 40 years or maybe even longer than that. 15 millimeter. There we go. Oh, the whole stud's coming out with it. We'll probably have to make new gaskets for this. Get the washer. Oh. Yeah. Washers are intact. There we go. I think they're locked in place there. There we go, now it's coming. Looks pretty clean. Well, let's see if that's working. Doesn't appear to be. Oh yeah, it's working. So you crack that way, and then you can take it out. It doesn't look too bad. Let's see if the throttle's working here. Oh yeah. Cool. So, let's start digging into the carb. See what's going on. Alright, let's take a peek. So we'll look at these screws first. See what kind of carb this is. That's the logo on it. iCub or something? I don't know. Float looks good. No gas in the float. Alright. Got this one with a spring on it. Let's see. About 1 1/4 for the one above that one. And then I think this is just the throttle. We're gonna leave that one in. Let's take these off. little jet right there. 104. I believe that's the main jet. Crack that one loose. That one's got a big jet in there. Clean that out. And there's one more right here. Crack that free. Looks like there's like a little plunger in there. Alright. Now we're just going to spray through everything with some brake cleaner, compressed air, and this will be good to go. Pretty simple carb, not much to it. Alright, carburetor's back on. Let's test the throttle here. Yep, that's working. Check out the shock setup in the back. Look at those springs. That is funny. Just free floating springs there. And you've got your shock right there. Interesting design. But okay, let's get the fuel tank back on. We're gonna clean that out. Alright, petcock on the gas tank. Hopefully this thing comes right off of here. There we go. Yeah, she's a little crusty. A washer there. Alright, here's the petcock here. Gonna clean that out as best as we can. Doesn't look like that's on. Look at all that gum coming out. There's one more port right here. Doesn't look like reserve's working. Well, as long as we have it above here, should be good. Alright, we're trying to fit up this gas line. We got some new gas line here. So I'm just gonna dry fit it and then we'll tighten everything down with clamps. And we got a fuel filter here, so should be an arrow on it. There it is. So it's going this way. So we're gonna cut it. Probably right there. I got clear lines so I can see if gas is getting to the carb here. Alright, and then get this other line on. Because you don't want it to bend. Probably like right there. little bit more. It's hard to get a fuel filter in there without bending the line. Everything feels pretty tight though. Alright, we got a brand new plug for it. Let's get that fitted in there. Got some 40-to-1 mix. Let's dump it in and see if it leaks here. Alright, we've got gas going to it. And it's not leaking out the carb yet. So, I think we can attempt to start this thing up for the first time in 40 years. Let's get a battery on there and try to start this thing up. I cannot wait to hear what this thing sounds like. Alright, here we go. Moment of truth. Will she fire? Choke it. Go. She's alive. Holy cow. Idle's a little high though. But she fired right up. See if she fires back up. Alright, it's idling now. Just have to adjust the screw. The wire was getting kinked. Alright, we got a battery hooked up. blinkers are working. Needs a bolt holding that down. What a beauty. Shifts through all the gears too. Wow. Alright, unfortunately, I think crank seals are gone. I'm full throttle right now. And just puffing out a lot of smoke. Smells like oil. That's full throttle. Getting a little bit better. There. Not revving out. Still full throttle. Alright, it's not even wanting to start now, so we tore it back down here. We're gonna check spark here. Let's see what that looks like. Seems like it's not getting spark. We're getting fuel. We'll have to check compression too. Maybe it pinched a ring or something. Let's check the spark out. Looks like it's disappearing sometimes. Put it back in. We took the pipe off too, because I thought maybe that was clogged with fuel or something, but it's not making a difference. Let's get the plug back in here. Quick try to fire it up. It did a loud bang out of the carb, so that's why I'm thinking compression maybe. Spark looks a little goofy too. We'll see what happens here. Alright, let's see. Nothing. I tried cleaning the points again too. That didn't work. So I think the spark is going. And I came out here to check, and it looks like the coil kind of melted or got too hot, is what it looks like. You can see it's like spooling out some stuff. and this came out of it right here. So I don't know if the coil got hot and that burnt out or what. I'm thinking maybe it's causing weak spark. But we'll do a quick compression test to confirm it's not the compression. The lower compression, but it did backfire out of the carb and it wouldn't start back up after that, which is really weird. Alright, we'll do a full throttle open. See if it cranks over here. We're getting the same compression, but 115. So it's not compression. It's gotta be that coil. I left a battery charger on it overnight and it hasn't ran since. Or correctly since. So I'm thinking, I don't know if that coil got hot overnight and fried, but I'm pretty sure that is the problem. You can see it's all cracked and peeling, and I don't know if you can buy a new coil for these or what. I even tried the different condenser on there, and that didn't make a difference. So we'll get a close-up look of the spark, and what happens is it's sparking. And it gets really weak and almost disappears, and then comes back strong, gets really weak and almost disappears. So I'm thinking when you try to start this thing up, it's just not consistent enough to start, which is really unfortunate because we had this thing running perfect yesterday. And I put that charger on overnight, and I think it maybe fried the system. I don't know if something was left on or what, but that coil got hot and it's seeping stuff out of there. Alright, you guys watch this spark. Let's see. See if it pops over at all. Yeah, we've got lots of gas going to it. It's not doing anything. Plug is wet. Yeah, not sparking. Oh, now it is. Not getting any spark now. Yeah, it's got to be the coil. We're losing spark, getting spark, losing spark, getting spark. What a bummer. Well, I played around with this for another hour. We tried adjusting the point gap, cleaning up the points again, tried a different plug, and nothing's working. So it's continuously sparking, and then it loses spark, sparks, loses sparks, and continues to do that no matter what I do. So I'm blaming that coil. I think it just overheated. I don't know if it was the first ride that overheated that thing or what, but yeah, I think that failed. So if anyone has a replacement coil, let me know. But I think we're gonna end the video there. We got this thing running and driving, which was the goal, but unfortunately I think I messed up by putting the charger on it overnight and frying that coil. But at least we got to hear it run for the first time in like 40 years. And we got to drive it for a little bit. I drove it down the road a little bit, and this thing's pretty fast. I think if we can find a coil for it, this thing will be up and running again in no time. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. Stay tuned for next one, and until next time, we are out.